Welcome to Macroeconomics here at Newberry College. Now, the purpose of this video is to introduce you to what's going to be covered in the course, talk about a little bit how it's structured, and more importantly, kind of give you a motivation for why you should really care about studying macroeconomics. So I guess starting right there, I have to say that in this course, we're going to cover a lot of topics. And these topics are all related to things that are happening, current events, things that really drive your world, whether you realize it or not. You are basically, think of yourself as being like a leaf that's being carried along a river. So here you are, this little leaf, just like all of us. We're all these like little leaves that are being carried on a current. Now, this current is this macroeconomic current. We have inflation. We have different type of exchange rate movements. We have different type of credit market conditions. We have a different kind of a business environment. All these things are things that are completely outside of our individual control, and we're just like a leaf on this current. So what does macroeconomics do? Macroeconomics helps you to understand those currents, helps you to understand not only, once you understand the current, you can understand sort of where you've come from and also where you're going. Now, all in all, why you care is because knowing this is going to help make you a better businessman or businesswoman. And that's the main point, is that this course is going to make you more astute and give you a better business acumen. And so you'll be able to leverage this in any kind of application of business. And I just hope that all of you are super excited about business because, hey, you're business majors. So that's a little bit about the motivation. Besides the business side of things, there's also a social side. So economics is a social science. And so we're going to cover some really interesting topics in the social sciences as well. You got the business side, the social science side. Just kind of keep this in your mind. So, on the social science side, we'll talk about economic growth, which is really look out the window, look at all the high technology and everything you see out there. How did you get here? How did we come from a cave, being cave people, to this modern society? There's a whole story of technological evolution that happened. That's super interesting. I think that's actually what got me into grad school, was understanding growth and technology, and I could dive into this and talk about this forever, which I won't here in this video. And I'll just leave it off and say this was a big motivation as to why I chose the book that I did. The book is written by Darren Acemoglu. So Acemoglu he's an economist that is actually a growth economist. So let me just pull this up. Acemoglu is the text. He's a growth economist, and he has an awesome perspective about economic growth in this text. I hope you find as interesting as I do. I think it's super cool what he's done. Now, as far as the text, let me just get to some of the details of the course. I will say that that the text, there's a procedure about how to actually get the text. You're going to need to get it either from the bookstore, or you can go online and actually purchase the text. And then you'll need this course ID in order to actually activate. If you buy your license from the bookstore, hold on to your receipt, because that receipt has an activation code, and there's a two-step process there. If you get hung up on anything, feel free to come and reach out to me. Come talk to me. I'm definitely always here for you and happy to help. So with that said, you're going to need to get the Pearson text. You're going to need to get Tableau. Tableau is a free software we're going to be using. Now, I told you that there'll be some social science things. There's some business things. On the business side, one thing that I'm going to give you is, by the end of this course, you are going to have exposure to several different types of data analytic platforms that are actually, they're sort of plug and play, drag and drop kind of user interface. So don't worry, you don't need to understand programming or anything advanced. Basically, I have Excel and then Tableau. And Tableau is basically like Excel on steroids. I mean, that's basically the best way I can put it. You don't need to be, it's super easy because you just kind of drag and drop. And I'll have some tutorials to help walk you through, and we'll do some things. But we're going to have a few different labs. And in those labs, you'll be working with real data. So this will take these ideas from pie in the sky kind of theory and show you about economics in practice and how you can actually go grab data and do some different types of things. And you'll also get some skills that are just generally useful in business. So that's why I put those there. Let's see here. I want to say a couple other things about technologies. Oh, one thing I will say is that the biggest reason people typically don't do well in this course is because they miss assignments or miss labs, or they miss the discussions. So I should comment about discussions. Uh, in order to get yourself to have proper business acumen and to really get you so you can know what's going on in the world of things, there will be discussions that we're going to have weekly. So let me just pull these up under coursework. So what I'm going to ask you to do in order for you to really understand what's happening in the world of things and understand this river that you're on, you're going to need to read the news daily. Now, I don't expect you to dive in and read articles and go into much. It actually is much easier than you think, because all you really need to do is cover the headlines. You just need to know what's going on in the world today. And if you kind of check in with that on the economic side, you'll start to see that there's stories that start to emerge. For example, we've had inflation that's hitting us all. I'm sure you all probably aware of inflation. You go to the grocery store, you see prices have gone up, right? Now, this has been a story that's been going on for years, since 2020. 2020, just so you know, and we'll talk about it later, printed a bunch of money. Okay, printed a bunch of money in the summer of 2020, and I could tell immediately that we're going to have inflation. And then there's a whole story about how it took a while for that inflation to actually settle in. It took a while for people to start to understand that yes, indeed, we have inflation, and there was a little bit of a lag. And so if you know economics like I do, you know that when there's inflation, interest rates are going to rise. So what did I do? I hurried off. I said, hey, I was going to wait to buy a house. I'm going to buy a house right now. And I locked in at 2 point something% interest. I guarantee you probably will not see 2% interest in your lifetime. I locked that in as a fixed rate. Knowing the things that I know about economics helped me to make better business decisions. And those business decisions come because I'm following the news. If I don't follow the news, I don't know what the heck's going on. So I'm going to have you look at the news every day. And then every week, I'm going to have you just write a simple 100-word paragraph, just a paragraph, 100-word paragraph about a news article that relates to the topic that we're talking about that week. And after you make a post, you'll have to also make one reply to somebody else's post. That only has to be 30 words. Be meaningful, take it serious, and you'll get a lot out of this course. Okay, of course, I hope that you all have the proper attitude for your studies and for your motivation for being here. And I hope that this actually looks like it's something that is going to excite you a little bit. I know probably reading the news every day isn't something that many people probably don't do that. So by the end of this course, I hope that's going to change. I'm trying to change your behavior in your life so that you can start to look at economic patterns, because those patterns happen over the course of years. Again, I was talking about inflation. I was talking about 2020, years ago. Okay. This pattern's been evolving. Now, you keep up on it, you're going to be up, and if you keep this pattern going in the future, you'll be up to date about the current business trends, the current business environment, and you'll be able to make smarter decisions. And that's exactly what I want for you. Okay. You'll see that I've got, so in Pearson, you'll see this is measuring GDP. This will be the first section. I've thrown a lot of different resources in here. Okay. Some are videos, some are readings. There's readings. Readings are not required. I throw those readings in there mainly just for your own benefit. You should probably read some of these things. Obviously, I put reminders like read the chapter. There's learning resources in Pearson. And I put these in here on Wolf Den just so that you can see sort of the access to a lot of different, materials for you to learn economics. There are also graded assignments. So homeworks and labs are graded. Okay. Do not miss those. Now, I'll say something. The homeworks I've divided into a couple different categories of homeworks. So let's see here if I can pull it up. So a couple categories of homeworks. You'll see that once you actually get into Pearson, you'll see that there's some homework that's for preparation, some for application, and some for assessment. So in terms of the preparation, you're still graded on these, but you can take these preparation assignments as many times as you want. And some people, they just click through, and you can probably get 100% just by brainlessly charging through. Yeah, sure, you can do that. Is that what you really want to do? Is that what you really want to do? I mean, do you really want to get nothing out of that preparation? If it's just about the grade, you can go ahead and just do it for the grade. I'm challenging you to change your mindset about it. I give you preparation and I don't grade you so that you can go ahead and make mistakes, and so that those mistakes don't necessarily harm you. Okay. Now, if you're taking the in-class, I have you do this preparation before you come to class, and we talk about it. So before you actually show up, you're reading the text and being exposed to things. That's a key for us to have a successful conversation. I absolutely do not want to sit here and have to lecture about the definitions of all the things in economics. No, I don't want to be a dictionary up there on the stage. I want us to have a discussion. Only way it's going to happen is if you prepare. You can show up unprepared. I don't know how we're going to talk. Show up prepared. You don't have to know everything, but just have some experience with the material before we talk about it. That's key. Okay. So we've got all those things. I think I talked about the in Pearson, the code, and I talked about all that. Okay. I put a schedule in on the syllabus, so you'll be able to follow it with dates and kind of see exactly where we're at, where we're going. This will help you kind of work ahead. I'm going to go ahead and do something on the Wolf Den. You'll see all this stuff is not open right now. By the end of the day today, hopefully, what my goal is to actually have everything open for you, so that you can work as far ahead as you want. I'd like you all to have the opportunity to work ahead, and I want to encourage you to work ahead, because that's a successful way. Working ahead is way easier than working from behind. So go ahead, jump ahead, get going on it, and let me know if you get stuck along the way. If you're in the online section, you're welcome to drop in the in-person anytime. Anyone can come by my office hours, and I'm just excited to introduce you all to macroeconomics. It's actually one of the things, whether you realize it or not, it doesn't matter if you realize it or not, you're still on that river. That river is still going to take you where the river is going to go. Do you want to be able to see the future? Do you want to be able to actually look ahead and have some ability to make predictions? I hope you do. I hope that's important. I hope I've convinced you. If not, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know what to say, because getting better business acumen is incredibly valuable, and I just hope you see the value and appreciate it and take this course serious, and not just like another check off the box. I hope you take it serious, because I definitely am, and I hope you are too. I'll tell you one thing: if you put the work in, you get through it. You should come through this with no problems. There's no big tripping stone. I will say that the big differentiator between the people who get A's, people who get B's, C's, are going to be probably some of these lab assignments. So, it's meant to kind of separate the A's from the B's and the C's. Like I said, a lot of the homework is actually not so hard. And it's possible to get through this course without learning much of anything if you want. You can do that. I hope you don't. That's on you. You own this. This is your learning. Own it. Okay? That's all I got to tell you. Anyway, reach out to me anytime, and always honored to help you. So with that said, welcome to Macroeconomics, and we'll see you next time.